Hey guys, skills not my powers. It's Super Mario take on your story. Today we have a Draco Malfoy, ex-male higher up wizard, Weasley, king of the wizards, world career. Prologue chapter. When they first meet. Today, John Weasley's prologue. I was in the third year of Hogwarts, and I knew my little brother, Ron Weasley, was going to be in his first year of Hogwarts. I was in my train cart, and one of the first years was crying that one of the new first years were bullying him. He needed help from an older member of Hogwarts. I finally got up and had asked him to show me where the bully was. He showed me the one, and it was a Malfoy. I looked at him and I smiled with a smug look looking at him. Hogwarts does not like bullies, I spoke. He looked at me like I was a muggle born, but I was pure blood, knowing I was the one being the king of the wizarding world. Welcome to the soon to be Hogwarts, I spoke. Look at him in the eyes. Yes, because we are the new first years, said Draco. Yes, but Hogwarts, like I said, don't like bullies, I spoke. Then why are you being like that, said the boy. Because I'm overprotective of kids like you, I spoke. And you are, said Malfoy. I told you, John Weasley, the third year and student of Dumbledore, I spoke. Oh, soon to be higher up, said Malfoy. Look, what's your name? I spoke. I'm Draco Malfoy, said Draco. Okay, well, Draco Malfoy, just stop. I spoke. Fine, said Draco. Sorry. I smiled and got back to my cart, and I grabbed the boy. I got bullied and sat him on my chair next to me. Thank you for saving me, said the boy. You are very welcome, I spoke. So why is it that you saved me, said the boy. Because I don't like seeing people get into trouble, I spoke. You're a good person, said the boy. So what is your name, I spoke. I'm Johnny Lawrence, said Johnny. Hi, John Weasley, I spoke. So do you know how Dumbledore would act? Asked Johnny. Don't worry, I spoke. So let me go, said Johnny. Do you want to get bullied again? I spoke. No, said Johnny. Just stay here, I spoke. Okay, said Johnny. The train stopped and I showed him to the boats. And I called my flying bird and it came. I smiled and got on my bird and I flew to Hogwarts. I smiled and got there before the boats because Dumbledore wanted me to be there early. Something to do with the kids going over the end before the school year starts. So why have I done something at the end of the day? Before work can be arranged, I thought. I smiled and Dumbledore was there. I smiled and got off my bird, and I smiled and hugged him. Nice to see you, my student, said Dumbledore. Nice to see you as well, master, I spoke. So let us see if you can still tackle Snape in the shadows, said Dumbledore. I looked at him shocked. He was right. That I can make a bet. with him tackling Snape down in the shadows. I smiled, went into the shadows, Snape, and tackled him, and he yelled at Dumbledore, not me. Why, you Dumbledore, said Snape. You can get off of me, Weasley, said Snape. Yes, sir, I spoke. Get off of him. I smiled and helped him up, and he rubbed my head. I smiled and bowed to him. You did good, Sunshine, said Snape. Snape rubbed his head. Think of a professor slash godparents rubbing Tori slash godson's head. I smiled and bowed and went back into the shadow and headed back to Dumbledore. I smiled and tackled him, and he laughed and picked me up and got up. Was I that light for him? I thought. He smiled at my shocked face. I smiled. He carried me to the great hall and put me in my seat in my house, and he smiled at my head. I smiled and looked at McGonagall, and she smiled, patted my head, and I smiled, looked up and the door, and she left. And in the first years are here. I smiled and looked at my wand and on the table, and looked at what I could do. I smiled and bowed my head to my wand, and it went into my hand. I smiled and looked at Dumbledore, and he smiled and looked at the wand in my hand. He smiled that I used my brain to put the wand in my hand. I smiled and the students stood at the front, and the hats were sorting them into places, and Johnny was put into my house, and other kids were also put into my house as well. They sat in my house seats, and I smiled and bowed to them, and they smiled and bowed as well. I looked at Draco Malfoy, and he was put into the Slytherin house. I smiled and looked at my brother Ron, and he was put into the Gryffindor house. I smiled and bowed to him, and he bowed back. We had started to have a party for the new kids of Hogwarts, so I wanted to show my members how to use their wands to make food for them, and it was a good thing for them. They had done a very good job, and we had eaten, and then it was time to head to our Hogwarts house, and we all fell asleep. They were all sleeping, and I had gone to the main room and looked outside and saw my owl. I called him, and he came and perched on my shoulder. I smiled and saw my mom had given me a present for my 3rd year of Hogwarts. I smiled and opened the present, and it was a new hat from the hat shop I had liked. And I put it on, and I went to see Dumbledore to show him my present of being a 3rd year. I knocked on his door, and he said to come in. I walked in, and he smiled. I smiled as well and stood at his desk like a good student. So your owl brought your present from your mom and dad, said Dumbledore, smiling. Yes, she got me a new hat, and it was from the hat place you told me would be a good place to go get a hat. I spoke. That is good, said Dumbledore. Well, I have to go, I spoke. Wait till I have a present for you, said Dumbledore. He gave me a box, and I opened it, and it was new robes for the 3rd year. I smiled and hugged him. Thank you, sir, I spoke. You are welcome, Toy. You are very welcome, Toy, said Dumbledore. I smiled and carried the box to my Hogwarts house, and went to my room and tried on the robes. And it smiled, and it fit perfectly. I took it off and put it on the mannequin, and I went to bed. I smiled and looked at the stars from my window on the ceiling, and I fell asleep. Today was somewhat of a good day, I thought. And that is it for part 1 I've told this early chapter. This was today's provo of the story. Hope you guys enjoy. Peace out, your squad, and peace. I hope you guys have a good day, bunnies. This is Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys have a great week today. Love you guys. I hope you guys are having a great day.